found it.
We got a less
I
on it.
thought you last for, do what?
So we're unmuted, but we got less on it.
You want to- How are they doing?
Are they in tournaments already?
Not yet.
Boys on it, girls and stuff.
Yeah, we'll go.
Okay. Like to call a meeting to order. Roll call.
Mrs. Berry,
Here?
Mr. Chapman. Here. Mrs. Stevens.
Here.
Mrs. Montracek,
Here.
Mr. Mickle.
Here. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion to approve the minutes of the April 14th, 2021 regular board meeting, and the April 2022, 2021 special board meeting.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Stevens,
Yes.
Mr. Chapman. Yes. Mrs. Berry,
Yes.
Ms. Montracek,
Yes.
Mr. Mickle.
Yes, motion carried. Approval of the financial reports is presented by the treasurer.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Any discussion?
Oh, it's good forecast. There in that motion.
Roll call.
Mrs. Berry,
Yes.
Ms. Montracek,
Yes.
Mr. Chapman. Yes. Mrs. Stevens,
Yes.
Mr. Mickle.
Yes, motion carried. Superintendent's report.
Just a few things. Last Friday, Mr. Fairfield and I took a tour of, we were invited to Tarquette, which is a manufacturing facility. They do flooring. They kind of have been reaching out. I know they reached out to Middlefield schools about forming a relationship with some of the districts. And basically, they went through a lot of, talked about some of the positions they have. They have actually some part-time positions for if you're 17. They also have some other part-time positions. They just kind of said they would like to have a presence, and they actually gave us a video that we could show to some of our students that are juniors, seniors, so they could see what it's all about. And then if they were interested in applying, then maybe, we could try to set them up for some type of interview there. I think for a lot of our students, if they're not going to college or they're, not going to Career Center, that might be a good option for them. And I was impressed with the factory itself. Looked like it was pretty decent conditions to work in. The pay, I think, was around $17 an hour to start. And they had attendance bonuses. I did ask, they said you have to submit to a drug test. They have some pre-employment things you have to go through, but eventually if you're there long enough, you can earn benefits. And they had bonuses for midnight turn or afternoon shift. So, I'd like to kind of explore that a little further. And, again, I think we have some students that, maybe they're not sure what they want to do when they get out of high school. That might be kind of a bridge for them, if not something more long-term. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And it's actually right next to Craft Main. So that was over there too. Another thing I want to mention, I got something sent from Dr. Marino at the ESC today about vaccinations that they're going to be holding at the Eastwood Mall. And I think there were like 5 different dates for May. So Mr. Fairfield put those on social media for us. Also, I'm sure you've probably seen in the news, the FDA approved Pfizer for 12 to 15-year-olds. Now, I just read an article. Some states have already moved ahead with it. I thought they said the CDC also has to vote on that, but I've been in contact with Akron Children's, and they had reached out to me well in advance of this, and our hope is that we could maybe offer a summer, we could be a vaccination site or partner with one of our other local schools for any 12 to 15-year-olds that would want the vaccination. The other thing I just want to mention real quick, the last couple weeks and moving forward, it's really nice to kind of be back and be doing some of the things that we've done as far as, I went to valedictorian breakfast and we had prom and NHS, and tomorrow we have a scholarship breakfast at Avalon to recognize
Tomorrow, Friday.
I'm sorry, Friday. Thank you. I'm a day ahead. So, it's nice to see that stuff happening. That's all I have.
Committee report. Christina.
I don't have anything on a technology side, but I do want to give a shout out to I did attend the National Honor Society ceremony. There were a lot of inductees. It was nice to see a nice big group. And Mrs. Miller did do a great job putting it all together. So it looked really nice. So that's all I have.
On a financial side of things, you'll see new business under A. Mario will go over that, but I've already looked at that closely, and the numbers look really good. So I'm really happy with that, as all of us should be. From an athletic point of view, the boys are playing in baseball today in Matthews to finish up the regular season, and then they start next week on tournament play, and they play Brookfield at home next Wednesday. Tuesday, the 18th, yes, and that's at 5 o'clock. And if they win that game, then they'll get to face Matthews again. The girls softball is playing currently as we speak. I was just out at that game. They're playing Sebring, and when I left, they were winning 8-0, and it was the end of 3 innings. So they're well on their way to winning that game, and then they would wait to see who the winner is that they would play next. Most likely is going to be McDonald. So that'll be a good game to go and see, and that will be next week as well. That would be on Monday. If it's at McDonald, then, if McDonald's the team they play, then the game would be at McDonald. It would not be a home game for us. And that's all I have.
Misty.
Couple things. The new school funding formula looks like it's going to go from about 6,000 per student to about 7,200. There's a lot more that goes into it, like teacher salaries and that sort of thing, but I think it hopefully will be a good thing for us. There's another House Bill 290 that is getting started, nicknamed the backpack bill, but it wants to, they want to provide vouchers for all students to go to any school that they want to, not just schools that are failing. So that wouldn't be a good thing if that passed. And then as far as what's going on, there's a lot of things. May 17th is the TCTC completion ceremony at 7 o'clock at Eastwood Field. May 20th is the academic ceremony here at 6 o'clock. May 26th is the last day for seniors. Graduation is the 27th at Packard, 7 o'clock. May 28th is the junior high academic ceremony at 9 a.m. June 1st is the last day for students, and June 2nd is the spring sports banquet. That's all I have.
Okay, from TCTC, a few more dates. Yesterday was the seniors checkout day, so it was their last day at TCTC. The juniors are going Monday, Wednesday, Friday this week. Next week, they're Monday through Friday. Again, the May 17th completion ceremony at Eastwood Field. May 24th is juniors' last day. Couple different shout outs from the academic standpoint. We have 2 of our Bristol students in the academic student of the year for TCTC. That's Gaia Petticord, web design and applications, and Haley Culver, dental assisting. So to be the academic student of the year, we're just really proud of them. The senior class, Hannah Fagan for pre-nursing, is representing one of the top 5. She's also in the Ready Distinguished category, as well as Sarah Turner for animal science. So Bristol's been very nicely represented at TCTC, and I'm really excited to see that on their publications. So that is it from me.
Okay, the only thing I have is, building and grounds. Since we were getting a little bit of pushback on holding graduation in the gym with our number at 4, Mr. Fairfield was able to get us in at Packard, and the number now is 10. So we'll have 10 people invited in for each student. So that's a great thing, and I want to thank him for the job he did putting that together. And I want to remind everybody again that graduation is now a day sooner, it's 27th of May instead of the 28th. And that's all I have. I would like to welcome visitors and invite public participation. Does anybody have anything to bring before the board?
Do we have anything?
No. Okay, old business. Anything under old business? New business. I need a motion to approve the 5-year forecast presented by the Treasury, Exhibit 2021-9.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Discussion.
Yeah, I wanted to go over the different sections and the changes from the fall. The first line of property taxes, we really weren't hit by the pandemic. Our collection rate pretty much was constant from previous years, projected a couple percent lower just because didn't know how it would affect our collection. And also we went through the triennial update, our valuation increased over 14%. So that increased our inside mills is the only ones where we get additional taxes on the inside mill, which is 5.2. And also with that valuation, it kind of pushed, we're pretty much at 20 mil forward now. So any future valuation, we could generate increased taxes just because when the valuation gets going up, our effective millage goes down, and once it's below 20, it automatically kicks us back up. So that's something to keep an eye on for future, if we would ever need a new levy, because being at the mill court limits what kind of levy we can go out for. Most likely would have to be like an emergency because it's a fixed sum. Because any other type of operating levy would just increase our effective millage, but once it's below, we wouldn't really get any additional taxes. That's something to keep an eye on. The unrestricted, like Misty said, they're going through this state annual budget now, and they're going through different versions. They did restore half the money they took from us last year, which was a positive. Again, not knowing how the pandemic would affect like taxes that fund us and what the state budget would look like. I projected they would cut our funding again by what they cut us last year, but they didn't. They restored it, so that was a major effect on the forecast. And going forward, everything I'm seeing is we'll get at least the funding we got in fiscal year 19. So I did forecast board project us to at least get what we got in fiscal year 19, restoring those funds. And then the property tax allocation was a little bit increased. And again, that's just based off our class 1 real estate. Because that goes up, the state will reimburse us more based on who qualifies for it. So that's why you saw a little bit of an increase there. The other revenue, we're pretty close to what we received last year, which is good, but future years, why the decrease? We'll have 10 open enrollment students graduating this year. And just looking at past history and grades, kindergarten, first, second, and third grade, we have 3 open enrollment kids in there. So I factor us losing roughly 7 open enrollment just based on
How many, I'm sorry?
3 in those grades currently. Again, that can change based on more information going next year. By factor goal, we'll probably get at least 3, and that's sort of a big decrease there. So you figure that's roughly $42,000 based on just overall cost going down. The interest rate, the amount of money we're learning on interest, is also took a major hit. I mean, we lost almost at least 80% of our interest. We went from like 90,000 interest to 20,000, I think, this year, and then the rates have kept dropping, so we'll probably get We know where we left off.
Are we okay?
Got the rearmor.
Motion to accept the resignation of Rita Rohr as cafeteria worker effective April 30th, 2021 at the end of the day.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Chapman? Yes. Mrs. Stevens?
Yes.
Mrs. Berry?
Yes.
Ms. Mondresic?
Yes.
Mr. Mickle?
Yes. Motion carried. Motion to approve the updated substitute list for the 2020-2021 school year with substitute cafeteria worker Keely Hillman, provided she meets all state and local requirements.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Discussion?
I just wanted to mention, she has been subbing at Maplewood, and she's gonna sub for us a little bit here, and she had some commitments there for the end of the year, but you know, if things work out, she's probably gonna be our next cafeteria worker.
Roll call.
Mrs. Berry?
Yes.
Mrs. Mondresic?
Yes.
Mr. Chapman? Yes. Mrs. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Mickle?
Yes. Motion carried. Motion to approve the removal of the attached list of obsolete books at no salvage value, exhibit 2021-10.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Chapman? Yes. Mrs. Berry?
Yes.
Mrs. Mondresic?
Yes.
Mr. Mickle?
Yes. Motion carried. Motion to approve the removal of the attached list of obsolete technology equipment from inventory at no salvage value, exhibit 2021-11.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Does that include you, Ted?
No, sorry.
Roll call.
Mrs. Berry?
Yes.
Mrs. Mondresic?
Yes.
Mr. Chapman? Yes. Mrs. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Mickle?
Yes, motion carried. Motion to approve membership in the Ohio High School Athletic Association for the 2021-2022 school year.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Yeah, there was, you had sent out that email previously. I'm under the understanding, if I read that correctly, that they're not going to charge entry fees now to be in the tournament.
That's what they did say.
Okay, so there should be, you know, an offset there. I know that they're gonna charge us the $50 per sport. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I came up with 10 sports, so our fee, I think, is gonna be $500. But again, that should be offset by the fact that there will not be entry fees.
I thought I said Dan, Dan said he quoted me 600.
It could be, I may be off, you know, on, I don't know if we,
So maybe
for
it's,
example, like golf, do we have boys and girls golf? You know,
maybe it's not as bad as.
yeah, I don't think it's gonna be, they're trying to get, I guess, as I understood and read through, I went back to the article and I also went to the website. There, you know, it's obviously a revenue thing for them, but they're trying to get constant numbers and have a better feel for that. So they feel that doing it by sport is a constant, and I think you pay that at the beginning of the year, as I understand it. So then they have the revenue up front, they know what they're dealing with, and they can move forward. So,
I heard the same thing.
so we'll see. I mean,
What are our other choices?
well, that's what Crystal.
Roll call.
Mr. Chapman?
Yes.
Mrs. Mondresic?
Yes.
Mrs. Berry?
Yes.
Mrs. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Mickle?
Yes, motion carried. Motion to approve moving graduation of May 27th at Packard Music Hall.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Discussion?
This is really gonna be nice, I think. I
I
think when it's all said and done, you know, I've experienced it
Mhm.
at Packard with the TCTC forum, and I just think that this is gonna be really nice. I think when we look at this and see how much better it might be presented, that we might want to consider doing it in future years as well.
And we'll want to sit down with you guys after and talk about
Good.
I do know that Packard Music Hall, I know the employees there take COVID precautions extremely serious, very diligent. I've always been very impressed. seeing how they handle things. So I'm really excited to see how it goes as well.
Now, be forewarned, if we're sitting up on the stage with all the spotlights on us, it is hot.
Okay.
That reminds me, where are the students? Are they up there also?
They usually sit down in there.
Well, I know they did a TCTC, but I don't know whether Matthews did or not.
I don't know, I guess we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I can't believe that there's gonna be room for all the students.
I
on
wouldn't
stage.
think.
Yeah, how many are there?
50.
50, now there's no way there's gonna be that.
Are a lot of schools using Packard this
Yeah.
year? That's great that we got a date then.
A couple bailed because of the requirements. Bigger ones like TCTC had to go out of there.
Yeah, I think
Somebody else.
Harding, we actually, I believe, are getting Harding's date.
Could be.
When I suggested he call, I thought, let's just take a shot. But, there were 2, tentatively 3 potential dates, but that seemed to work out well. I'm just glad we.
And I have not received any feedback, negative or positive, but I mean, I think no news is good news, that there's no complaints that we moved the date. I think people obviously are happy that we're able to give them more tickets.
Yes.
I had one family say, like, I'm gonna have extra tickets. Can I give them to somebody else?
Well, the only thing they said with
They're
that
grouped.
is you are grouped by families, so
Okay.
if you
So maybe I
trade,
should tell her now.
you would be sitting with that family, basically, is the way I was described.
Yeah, that's how, and Packard, from what Tim said, they're doing it random
Uh-huh.
for students. So you
Okay.
don't know where you're gonna sit, there,
Uh-huh.
it'll be all random, so, yeah.
Okay, roll call.
Mrs. Von Drasek,
Yes.
Mrs. Stevens,
Yes.
Mrs. Berry,
Yes.
Mr. Chapman,
Yes.
Mr. Mickle.
Yes, motion carried. Motion to approve the following additions and revisions of Bristol Board of Education policies. And I'm not gonna read them, but there they are.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Yeah, just real quick, a lot of the non-discrimination and anti-harassment, a lot of that, they were just removing some old language that didn't apply. A lot of those, we have to list compliance officers. The big thing is making sure, we put in ours, we usually do it by, like the high school principal or the elementary principal. The one thing with the compliance officers, we keep them on the website so people know if they were ever need to contact somebody. And Mr. Kish, he's gonna get a lot of training this year, because he'll be a compliance officer, so they'll have to get some training throughout the year. And then some of the other things that were mentioned in there, like controversial issues revolves around religious freedom for students, just to exercise certain things. And I think the biggest thing around that is just, not infringing on their rights, but obviously when it's structured school time, there's times for them to do that and not do that. I'm just thinking other things in here, like protective facial coverings towards the bottom. They put some more exemptions in with masks, but a lot of it deals with things like, if you take mask breaks, that's something they put in the policy. If you're eating at lunch, obviously you're not gonna wear a mask there. There were some other ones. And food services, just kind of, the one little thing I noticed in there, addressing like negative balances with students, if they had a negative balance, so there's not a stigma, over that. That was the one key thing that stuck out to me in there. Wellness, that was also kind of mentioned, also providing, like, making sure we're providing, have availability of water throughout the day. I think generally they keep water that the students can go up and get it during lunch, but also I think our addition of the bottle fillers this year would help with that as well. So those are kind of just some of the things there.
I noticed that with the facial covering, South Carolina's governor issued a executive order today that said parents could opt out their children for masks for schools. And some parents were like, there's only a month left. Like, why are you doing that now? But so that may be something that comes with the next school year.
They probably trying to get ready for the beginning of next year too at the same time. slowly phase it in.
I have a health department meeting on the 20th, so I think the thing right now is just kind of waiting to see what changes. I know the governor is supposed to speak tomorrow maybe, so.
One thing I should have brought up in my committee report, I'm hearing that we're gonna get free lunches all next year too, correct?
That's some information that, yes, came to me, and Mrs. Dale was aware of that and was supposed to be looking into that, but hopefully it should be similar to what's happened this year.
Okay. Roll call.
Mrs. Stevens,
Yeah.
Mr. Chapman,
Yes.
Mrs. Berry,
Yes.
Mrs. Von Tracy,
Yes.
Mr. Mickle,
Yes, motion carried. Motion to accept the following donations. Ohio Just Drive Contest, the high school principals fund for $500. Bristol Adult Athletic Booster to the athletic fund for $3,400. 54 Binax Now COVID-19 home test kits from the state of Ohio.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Discussion?
I know that, I just wanted to mention the kits. I know the nurse has passed out at least a handful of the kits. I think the thing with them again that we're fine, that she said initially was they weren't the easiest things to use, because you use it at home, but you still have to have like a video conference with the doctor. I think we might have talked about that before. So, you know, once those are gone,
Yeah.
they're gone, and I think they have an expiration.
They do expire. The ones that I received will expire in August of 21, so they're only good for 3 months. There's no instructions on the inside, which makes it extremely difficult for families. And you have to download an app on your phone, put in all your information, and that's only after you've been granted a user code by your provider. So
These are the same ones you think, or you know?
I know,
Okay.
yeah, I received 55 of them.
Gotcha.
Yep, so, at the end of the day, it's nice to get tests in the hands of consumers, and if you want to do it, you have it. And in that, but at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, is making sure that people don't have to leave their house to access healthcare, which this is just another component to that, so. Well, they figure it out.
Sure.
But they're not user friendly, that's for sure.
The question I had was on item 2, the athletic donation. Was that earmarked for something?
yes, for,
That's the money for pay to participate, right?
no,
3,400?
no, that's the,
I don't remember. It's not pay to play yet.
that was for the weight room.
Thank you.
Okay, roll call.
Mr. Chapman,
Yes.
Mrs. Berry,
Yes.
Mrs. Stevens,
Yeah.
Mrs. Von Tracy,
Yes,
Mr. Mickle,
Yes, motion carried. We have an addendum. I need a motion to accept the retirement resignation of Rebecca Brugler effective May 31st, 2021 at the end of the school day.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Yeah, I just want to say, again, I want to wish Mrs. Brugler well. I know this was a difficult decision for her, and hopefully she's, kind of feels good about it.
Roll call.
Mrs. Von Tracy,
Yes.
Mrs. Berry,
Yes.
Mr. Chapman,
Yes.
Mrs. Stevens,
Yes.
Mr. Mickle,
Yes, motion carried. We need a motion to go into executive session to discuss the purpose of evaluation, compensation, and employment of personnel. It'll be the board, the superintendent, the treasurer, Ms. Peterson, and Mrs. Woodford.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Berry,
Yes.
Mr. Chapman,
Yes.
Mrs. Stevens,
Yes.
Mrs. Von Tracy,
Yes.
Mr. Mickle,
Yes, motion carried. We're on?
Yep.
Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Ms. Paul Grayson?
Yes.
Mrs. Berry?
Yes.
Mr. Chapman?
Yes.
Mrs. Stevens?
Yes.